sorry, I think we had to give to Encik Nazri to on the slide ke ni?
Ya kan?
Oh no, tu Kak Jin ada sudah ni?
Okay.
Can?
Ya.
Okay. So yeah, to welcome all, this is to your knowledge in the RMC here, Research Management Center of UMS. We have one section called innovation section. So this innovation section is responsible in handling on IP matters, and also basically the main task is to handle IP and also commercialization. But on top of that, we also handle the other innovation grants. So it's led by myself, Homa, and then I have 3 staff under me, who is the, as mentioned by Prof Jason just now, Senior Assistant Registrar, Puan Jane Edwin Ading. Okay, she handles all the administration, okay, intellectual property and internal grants. So the internal grants include innovation grant, the commonly known as SGI. I think many of you have applied for that. Okay, and then we also have external grants, things like PRGS. This is from KPT. Okay, PRGS, My Lab, grants from MESTEC. Yeah. Okay. So these are handled by Puan Jane. So, and then we also have Assistant Registrar Puan Akila Effendi, who handles on commercialization, exhibition, and external grants again. So these grants are more on the community service grants like PPRN, MySI. Yeah. So I assume that you're all still aware of these grants also, right?
No.
Hello? It's so silent. Everybody's so serious.
First, many questions coming later.
Alright. Okay. Next. Yeah, we will just go through and then you can set your questions. So just be a bit relaxed. I don't want to be so serious on this. Okay. And
Sure,
then we have.
If any questions, they can interrupt you, lah kan?
Yes, they can interrupt. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. And then we also have our assistant admin staff, Puan Marliana Jones. So she handles everything on the paperwork and all filing, okay, on SMPPI and all that. Okay, so we only have these are my team to work on to serve the whole UMS on these matters. Okay, so this is about our section. So next we go to the what is Harta Intelek, Pengurusan Harta Intelek. But before that, let me just briefly tell or introduce to you about IP. Okay, concept of intellectual property, and also what types of IP we have. Okay, that you can apply. It's not that what we have, but what is there that you can apply. So intellectual property shares similar concept of ownership. The owner of the intellectual property has the right to. So whenever you invent or you create something new, so you have the right on it, and then it can be registered. Okay, it can be registered. But please remember, in UMS, the full IP owner is UMS. So unless if you have any collaboration with other co-researchers or industrial, so there will be a co-ownership. So we have procedures on that, how to do the co-ownership and all that. So there will be agreements and everything. So that one on the technical part, Puan Jane will explain to you. So coming back to the concept of IP, so the use of the intellectual property for any purpose or whatsoever, provided it does not violate the law. Okay, so you have all the rights to do what you want to do with your IP, even though the ownership is UMS at the end of the day. But we can discuss together whether you want to sell it or you want to license out. But usually in UMS, they would prefer the first priority will be licensing out for commercialization. Okay. So, and then prohibit or exclude others from using the IP. So example, take court action against your patents or trademark infringer. Okay. So provided that the inventor, operator, owner of the intellectual property has obtained the ownership for the IP. So it must be registered. Okay. Or there must be an evidence showing that you are the owner of your invention or whatever that you have created. So what type of IP that you can apply? Okay. So many people always think when it comes to IP, it's only patent. By right, there are more than that. Okay. So patent is actually a priority, and then it carries more weight. But other than patent, there are other things that researchers can apply according to what is your invention or what you produce, material you produce or your product. Okay. So here we have patent, okay, pembaharuan utility. This utility innovation. And then we also have trademark. And we have industrial design. So these details will be explained by Puan Jane shortly. What are these? Okay, okay, my staff they will talk in bahasa lah, Prof. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the copyright and trade secret. Now, for item number 1 until number 5, we have to register with MyPo. Okay.
1 to 5.
1 to 5, kan?
Yeah. Trade secret kita.
Only trade secret, it's internal. So you submit your whatever your formulation or recipe that you have, and then we have a procedure to keep it as a secret here. So trade secret is still within UMS. But item number 5, 1 to 5, it's subject to MyPo's policy and procedure. And we strictly follow that plus whatever that written in UMS procedure. Okay, so these are the example of summary types of IP that I explained to you earlier. So types of intellectual property, patent and utility innovation. Usually when we apply to MyPo, they will do the agent, we will send to the patent search agent. Okay, so they will advise accordingly what in which category you can register your IP, whether it's suitable for patent or it's utility innovation or industrial design. Okay, so it's subject to what you apply and what they do the search for. And all this search, we pay for that. UMS pay the cost of all this IP search and process the IP. Yeah. So for patent and utility innovation, its subject matter is inventions, example solutions to solve technical problems. Okay. So here we need a registration required at MyPo. Okay, and the duration will take to 20 years and 10 plus 5 or plus 5 years. So it's very subjective to the time. But however, you can get early endorsement of filing. We call that is much faster. Okay, and then for industrial design, you have visual designs of objects. Okay, there are some examples there. What is it? Okay, we don't have the details there. Okay, so registration required with MyPo again, and then for trademarks, the sign used to identify your products or services from others. Okay, so this one also requires registration or by use. Also takes about 10 plus 10 years. Yeah, but ada juga yang awal kan. It depends to the situation also. Yeah. So and then copyright, literally it's include musical literatures, modules, musical artistic work, films, sound, recordings, broadcasting. Okay, bawah lagi ada lagi. So this is automatic. Mana saja?
Ini type 2 so. Ini tadi.
For type 1 is you have the automatic protection. Protection. Kak, saya tak nampak sudah. Okay, automatic protection but requires affidavit for evidence of ownership. So, okay. And then what else? I'm keep on pressing my own slide. I thought it's under my control. Okay, and then you have types of summary types of IP2. So geographical indication, sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin. Okay, it depends to the origin or the location of the product. Like Sapati, for example. I cannot say it's too small. Black pepper. So from Sarawak. Okay, registration or by use. Yeah. And then layout design of an integrated circuit. Topography, this one on designing topography or 3D disposition of microchips example. So this example actually we have extracted from the MyPo document slides, you know. So I just give you an overview of this. I may not be an expert on explaining details about it, but surely we will have a series of IP talk to explain about this in future. But what is important now is that to give you an overview plus to explain how the process of IP application is conducted in UMS. Okay. So new plant varieties and then IP rights given to the breeder of a new plant varieties. Okay, which is
This one is for Jabatan Pertanian. Kalau sekiranya kita terjumpa satu spesies orchid, contohnya di sebelah tu, ataupun durian. Jadi new species of orchid tu kita akan beri dia nama. So then kita kena register with Jabatan Pertanian. Tapi ini kita jarang lah mungkin FBL lah maybe.
Usually we cannot have IP for biological organism actually, but they have a different clause on this. Yeah, it depends to the agencies. Okay, then we have trade secrets and confidential information, know-how, technical data, and recipe. Okay, so this one is internal, it's within UMS, so we keep that. And all these, it can be licensed out for commercialization. Okay, at the moment, we have products that has been patented and also that have trade secrets that we have commercialized.
Okay. This is the one. Which one is under MyPo? Which one is under Jabatan Pertanian?
So in Malaysia, there are governing bodies of intellectual property in Malaysia, what we know popularly as MyPo. So some people pronounce that MyPo, some say my IPO, and so you decide how you want to call it. But to your knowledge, this is so we follow strictly according to their procedures. Yes, so register and all the procedures. So we have a branch in KK at Warisan Square. So even researchers are always welcome also to go there also if you need to find information. But anyhow, you always can provide here. So we can advise you accordingly how to go about it. Okay. So we have for IP, Intellectual Property Corporation Malaysia of MIPO, we have Patent Registration, Patent Act 1983, and then Trademarks Registration, we have Industrial Design Registration, Geographical Indication Registration, Copyrights, Layout Design, and Integrated Circuit. Department of Agriculture, this is for the plant just now, when we, as what Puan Jane explained just now. And then you also have the Enforcement Division, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Okay.
Ini contoh. Dalam ini contoh dia dalam satu benda ni terdapat banyak IP yang boleh kita dapati.
Alright.
Now,
this is actually to explain to you that not necessarily your item only carry one patent or one IP. So it can carry various type of IP in one product. So when you produce anything or you create anything, invent, so you can see which part you can have the IP. So this is an example, various types of IP in a single product. They showed in the handphone with the trademark, right? Okay, it's the brand name. Okay, product marks used for goods and services. And then the patent right is the broadband antenna technology. So protect new invention. Okay, for IC layout is the design. So you have protect layout designs of the integrated circuits. And then you have the industrial design right, protect a design of goods. Okay, and then you have the copyrights to protect creative expressions. So all these can be should be applied separately per item. Yeah. So you cannot include everything in one form because each form's application form carries different information for the IP. All right. Okay. So basically that's a general overview which I can tell you about IP. But to go straight into our technical, what we do at the section for UMS researchers, how we assist you with IP application, it will be explained by Puan Jane. From day one, you want to apply, and even when we request you what IP you want is included in your research, you always see that question in your application form, in your research application, grant application form, yeah. So what you should do, where to find the form, what's the procedures, how long it takes, it will be explained by Puan Jane. So without any further ado, I hand over to Puan Jane. Thank you.
Okay, selamat pagi semua, and thank you Doktor. Untuk yang ni, pemfailan patent bagi reka cipta, salah satu daripada IP. So once borang yang perlu kami perlu you all kena isi is IP 1 bersama dengan IP 2 dan atau IP 3. It depends perlindungan IP yang mana satu kamu prefer. Kalau IP 2 biasanya patent dengan utility innovation. And then IP 3 ni adalah copyright, trademark, trade secret atau industrial design lah. So dalam borang-borang ni PPI you all boleh dapat daripada website PPI. And then once you already print it out and then isi maklumat yang wajib ada dalam tu dan tidak boleh ditinggalkan adalah nombor kad pengenalan dengan nombor staf. Sebab dalam borang MIPO CR1 kami perlukan nombor kad pengenalan. Kemudian lampiran yang dihantar perlulah dalam hard copy dan soft copy. Kalau color, then you have to print dalam color lah. ataupun burn dalam CD, dan kami perlukan dalam 2 salinan. Bagi permohonan yang mempunyai lampiran yang tebal, macam contoh buku kah macam tu yang tebal, itu akan mengambil masa yang lama bagi pihak PPPI untuk sediakan dan isi borang, because we have to print lagi, and then kami pun staff tidak ramai, so itu mengambil masa. So kami mohon, kalau memohon ngisi borang tu, bagilah lampiran dalam 2 salinan. Okay, sebab satu salinan universiti akan simpan, satu lagi kepada MyPo. Dan lampiran tu biasanya mesti dalam keadaan yang macam orang cakap perfect lah. Sebab MyPo tu akan tengok. So we go to macam pemfailan IP2. Okay, itu kita tengok slide yang lain. And then bila sudah kami dapat ini information semua, kami akan isi borang MyPo. Okay. Borang MyPo kita tengok di sini, copyright dia, itulah harga dia, tapi itu baru yang itu saja, borang dia saja. Lampiran berapa keping yang pertama free, yang kedua dia bayar sudah. Manually dengan soft copy berlainan harga lagi. So yang itu kami kena tengok lagi. Bukan sesimpel-simpelnya yang macam make attach terus kepada borang. Kami kena kira, kena tengok. Kalau you all pergi MyPo punya website, you can see all those fees, apa yang patut kami bayar di sana. Yang UMS bayar lah, bukan kami lah. UMS bayar. So itu yang copyright. And then yang trademark tu setakat ini, inilah harga dia. Ini harga baru ya. So itu untuk yang patent. And then ini adalah borang IP1 yang you all mesti isi bersama ataupun tidak dengan IP2 dengan IP3. Okay. Ini IP1, ini muka surat pertama saja ya. And then ini IP2. And then ini adalah IP3. Okay. Kecap ya. Okay. So sekarang kita pergi ke proses pemfailan. Ini kita baca. Okay. Ini untuk rekad cipta mestilah memenuhi kriteria ini. Ini adalah kriteria untuk patent. Dia mestilah memenuhi definisi invention tu. Boleh didapati dalam akta patent ya. And then dia bukan terdiri daripada rekad cipta yang tidak boleh dipatentkan. Untuk lebih yang dalam yang ada rekad cipta yang boleh dipatentkan, ada yang tidak. Cuma saya belum berapa arif yang tu. So kena tengok dalam MyPo punya juga lah. So rekad cipta tu satu kriteria dia mesti baru dan ada langkah mereka cipta, inventive step dia. And then boleh digunakan dalam industri. Itu dia punya kriteria lah. So ini yang macam Dr. Homa cakap tadi, yang hak eksklusif kepada pemilik patent, kita boleh eksploitasi rekad cipta yang di patent, menyerahkan hak dan pinjam milik patent, membuat kontrak-kontrak license lah, okay? Dan siapapun tidak boleh dibenarkan untuk melakukan perkara-perkara di atas tanpa kebenaran pemilik, which you can bring to court lah. So ini adalah borang IP2 tu kalau untuk yang apply patent ya. So di sini proses dia, bila kami dapat borang yang apply patent, kami akan antar email kepada ejen. Paling kurang 3, tapi kami akan antar lebih daripada itu. Sebab tidak semua ejen akan bagi dia punya quotation. Dan quotation tu kami perlu dapatkan, kami akan bagi tempo lah pada ejen untuk hantar dia punya quotation. Quotation as required by bendahari, dia kena bagi daripada mula sampailah pengeluaran kita punya sijil patent. Itu pun kalau tidak ada halangan daripada mana-mana pihak bila kita sudah hantar ke MyPo nanti untuk examination, substantial examination, kita cek oleh panel penilai, okay? And then itu yang sudah pelawan ejen tu lah. So kami bila sudah dapat itu semua, kami akan buat mesyuarat pemilihan sebut harga, okay? And then Bila sudah settle yang itu, pilih mana satu agent, barulah kami bagi tahu dengan agent untuk dapatkan dia punya carian laporan dia untuk carian pattern search pattern search kan pattern search itu mengambil masa. Okay, it depend dengan kamu punya tajuk reka cipta. Because pernah saya bertanya bercakap dengan agent, dia orang pernah cari sampai 7,000 yang similar to that. Jadi dia akan mungkin dulu terus fokus. But tempo untuk dia orang buat itu pun akan mengambil masa. Kadang-kadang berbulan baru dapat feedback daripada sana. Kemudian dia akan hantar kepada kita. Okay, laporan tu dia akan hantar kepada kita, and then dia bagi suggestion sama ada diteruskan dengan pattern, tukar IP lain, mungkin UI, mungkin trademark, macam begitulah dia akan advise. And then kalau dia advise, dia akan bagi justifikasi kenapa, kenapa macam begitu. So bila tapi sebelum itu kami buat apa-apa, kami tanya juga sama penyelidik sama ada dia orang setuju atau tidak dengan cadangan agent. Kalau dia bersetuju, then kami akan bawa benda ni ke mesyuarat JKP, itu Jawatankuasa Penaih Harta Intelek yang dipengurusikan oleh TNCPNI. Okay, then from there kalau sudah lulus, then kami akan keluarkan surat minta agent, lantik agent tu untuk teruskan dia punya kerja-kerja lah. And then kalau sudah macam dapat, kalau dia belum dia file isi borang apa-apa semua, dia dapat file saja, terus dia akan bagi number pemfilan start with PI. Kalau semua jalan okey, pattern, nombor pendaftaran pattern mereka cipta tu will be MY. Itu beza dia. Okay, yang baru mau file dengan yang sudah dapat. Okay. Ini adalah catat alir. Ini dalam BM dan English lah. Ini kami ambil daripada MyPo lah. Sorry ya, kecil. Itu yang saya dapat daripada MyPo. Okay. So, tapi kamu boleh tengok dalam website dia juga lah. So, inilah dia punya catat alir tu. Kalau kita tengok permohonan, ini, and then pemberitahuan tarikh pemfilan. Itu dia kasih tahu. Macam kalau hari ini kita apply, dia kasih tahu lah. Okay. Bila dia hantar borang sana, terus dia kasih tahu. Bila dia hantar borang tu file, and then terus ada nombor PI. Okay. Yang pembetulan tu saya, itulah yang saya cakap tu, saya belum juga arif sangat. Perbaikan. Jadi pemeriksaan permulaan, and then permohonan dibuka.
Penyelidik dengan.
Ya. Ya, doktor lagi kalau yang doktor tahu, saya tidak pandai yang ini. Okey. Ini dia flowchart lah. Jadi yang saya bagi tahu yang saya dapat ingat lah. So untuk permintaan untuk substantial examination tu, itu akan dihantar kepada penilai panel penilai yang dilantik oleh MyPo. Di sana itu akan mengambil masa. So bila sudah kena periksa, sekiranya tidak ada pemeriksa semua bersetuju apa yang dilaporkan di dalam pemfilan tu, dan terus kita akan pergi ke sijil pemberian pattern lah. Tapi kalau sekiranya bila ada konflik di sana, panel panel tidak setuju, and then penyelidik pun tidak agree juga dengan yang apa yang panel tu, jadi benda tu akan tolak sini sampailah boleh sampai di masuk mahkamah pun ada. Diorang cakap macam itulah yang apa yang diorang dah bagi tahu. Kalau tidak ada persetujuan, then di sana sajalah. Okay. Nanti tanya soalan lah, kalau saya harap saya dapat jawab. So inilah macam tadi tu jugalah. So tu pemfilan tadi, and then dia punya preliminary examination, and then baru yang dia kena highlight sini tu yang request Pusat ini dia kasih tahu lah borang-borang apa yang mau diisi tu kan. Tapi part-part yang kena periksa tu lah yang paling lama untuk kena buat. Sebab You all pun tahu juga kan kalau macam you all periksa thesis PhD ke master pun you need time kan. So dalam pun macam tu juga. So ini adalah timeline untuk request daripada filing sampailah hujung dia lah.
Dari tarikh filing
sampai
file filing.
Timeline dia lah. Ini saya belum master lagi ya. Saya belum master lagi.
Kami pun sudah
So nanti kalau you all soal, we try our best lah. Dan kalau kami tidak dapat jawab, we will refer to my Prof. Okay. Harap bersabar dengan kami. Okay, ini untuk copyright yang memang famous di UMS lah. So itu kamu isi borang IP3 bersama IP1, and then kami akan semak semadam semua sudah okay apa atau tidak, apa ada kurang atau tidak. Dan kami akan isi borang CR1 juga. Tapi yang ini Dr. Homa kena bekerja sedikit, dia kena pergi di mahkamah, berbaris. Berbaris untuk jumpa Pesuruhjaya Sumpah untuk dapatkan tanda tangan. Okay? Borang tu daripada MyPo atau borang?
Ya, borang MyPo.
Yang template gitu sudah. Di sana yang kami kena isi, tapi kami untuk isi itu kami kena betul-betul berhati-hati, jangan ada macam yang macam short form dia itu jangan ada yang double, sebab nanti kami yang kena balik di PPPI, okay? So itu ambil masa. And then daripada itu borang CR1 tu then kami apply for untuk membayar iuran dia, okay? Iuran itu biasanya kalau sudah sign surat sumpah, kami akan jumpa MyPo dulu, tanya dia orang ngam ke tidak yang kami sudah sediakan itu semua, berapa bayaran, sebab dia orang lebih tahu. Kami nampak daripada website pun belum juga bilang memang pandai betul lah. Jadi kami kena tanya sana, pergi MyPo dulu, tanya macam mana, dan baru buat surat minta bendahari sediakan cek untuk pembayaran, okay? Waktu yang pergi MyPo tu, dia bila sudah settle everything, buat dengan cek tu, pergi MyPo, dia akan keluarkan receipt, dan di sana kita dapat terus dia punya registration number. Registration number untuk kamu punya copyright. Sijil tu, it takes time. Itu kena, itu headquarters yang buat. Itu ambil masa. And then dalam sijil, nama ketua dan ahli-ahli akan dipaparkan. Di sana tadi permulaan saya ada beritahu yang wajib mengisi IC, termasuk ahli-ahli di dalam tu. Wajib ada, sebab kalau kita mau dalam sijil tu ada nombor IC you all, then you have to bagi. So then ujung sekali kalau bila PPPI sudah dapat sijil tu, we will give you a copy, ataupun you can also apply for yang cantiknya sijil for your own, for your safekeeping, but you kena isi borang CR5 kalau tidak salah, and bayar, tidak juga free lah, bayar juga. Kamu pun boleh ada minta juga dia punya sijil lah. Ini adalah borang yang saya maksudkan tadi, CR1 tu, ini baru page 1. Ini ada dia punya cetak alir lah. Ini boleh dapat di website. Ini kami ambil dari sana juga. Website MyPo. Iya, website MyPo. Cetak alir. Ini nanti you all boleh siap sembilan. Nanti kita. Ini sekarang ini Q punya, tapi Dr. Homa akan bagi penerangannya.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Puan Jane. So let me just summarize that. So actually what she explained is in detail what the process that take place. Yeah. So actually when you start applying, there are, if you notice, there are 3 types of forms. So you have IP1, IP2, and IP3. So IP1 is for which is a compulsory, and it has to come with IP2 and IP3. So IP2 is for patent and IP3 is for copyright, trademark and everything other things. Yeah. So these forms are available at our
website.
the UMS forms are available. The IP1 to 3 is the UMS form, because that's what we have to fill up and submit to MyPo before they can proceed with their procedures. So this one you can obtain from PPPI website. At the moment, we have not included the old form. We still have the old form. It's we still haven't included in the SMPPI, but soon we are in the progress of including it in SMPPI. So at the moment you can download that from PPI webpage. Okay, so once you submit, then we will do all the other processes. So according to UMS procedure, we have to get the quotation from minimum three agents for the patent search, and for the rest of the process until filing, and plus to grant the patent. And this application also will be once we get all the evaluation from the agent and all that. Since it's involved money and it has need permission from the management, so this will go through another meeting. We have a committee meeting for IP, for UMS IP intellectual committee meeting, which is chaired by the TNC. So there they will endorse whether we should proceed or not with the patent. Okay. So that's actually this overall process will take about 3 to 4 months usually. So that's why sometimes there's a long delay, and then we always advise researchers to give us a complete form. Okay, so the major part of the delay usually because some parts of the forms are not complete, so it takes some time for us to revert back to and fro. But otherwise, we will try to make sure everything goes on smoothly. Okay, so on IP management is that we may have missed some parts, but you can reserve your question afterward. So after this, it will be once you already got your IP. Now this IP is always required when you go, you want to go for competition or any innovation competition. Yeah. So any exhibits, innovation exhibits. So please make sure that you already have your IP at least registered at certain point. Yeah. So that's our advice. Okay, and also for commercialization, IP is a compulsory part. So for commercialization, Puan Akila will take over now, and then I will make up the summary for you. Thank you. Puan Akila, silakan.
Selamat pagi semua. So I will explain the 4 type of agreement. So they are licensing, intellectual property management, intellectual property management and commercialization, and also sale and purchase. So for the licensing, UMS will be give the exclusive right to the company to commercial the product to the company lah. So it will involve the licensing fee, the duration of the licensing agreement, and also involve the royalty between UMS and the company. So the IP right will be completely for UMS, and cakap Melayu. So for next one, untuk pengurusan harta intelek, agreement pengurusan harta intelek ini melibatkan perkongsian harta intelek antara UMS dengan industri. Selalunya agreement ni dibuat sekiranya industri ada menyumbang dalam penghasilan produk tu lah. Jadi dia ada kongsi dengan UMS lah. So sebarang hasil jualan daripada produk yang penyelidik hasilkan perlu dikongsi bersama bertakluk dengan persetujuan di antara dua pihak lah, di antara industri dengan UMS. Sama ada dia nak berkongsi sama rata atau UMS ada lebih sikit lah. So penjualan produk ni dibuat oleh syarikat lain yang memegang hak pelesenan eksklusif. So syarikat lain yang komersialkan produk tu, bila ada sebarang jualan, dia punya hasil tu akan kongsi dengan company yang kita dah buat perjanjian perkongsian harta intelek. So untuk ketiga, pengurusan harta intelek dan pengkomersialan. Untuk agreement ni dia melibatkan perkongsian antara UMS dengan company, dan company tu sendiri yang menjual produk tersebut lah. Jadi dia ada joint IP, apa-apa yang dia jual daripada produk tu dia akan share dengan UMS gitu. Jadi yang nombor 4 tu sale and purchase, ni maksudnya produk tu penyelidik jual secara one off kepada company tu satu kali sajalah, tiada tempoh. Jadi untuk pembagian yuran dan royalty, ini saya ambil daripada kita punya polisi, UMS, Intellectual Property Policy. So di mana kalau university derive compensation income from the form of net value, maksudnya apa-apa yuran pelesenan daripada company itu kita akan bahagikan mengikut peratus yang telah ditetapkan lah. Sekiranya net revenue of commercialization itu kurang daripada 100,000, jadi inventor penyelidik akan dapat 70% of the yuran pelesenan, universiti akan dapat 5%, fakulti akan dapat 5% dan UMS Link itu 20%. Sebab sebelum ni UMS Link yang handle bahagian komersialan, tapi sekarang PPPI yang urus commercialization ni, jadi 25% akan pergi kepada UMS dan 5% akan pergi fakulti. Tapi kalau untuk royalty pula, dia akan bahagikan antara penyelidik dan universiti saja, which is 70% and 30%. Jadi syarat-syarat untuk mohon kita buat agreement ni, mestilah harta intelek tu sudah dipatenkan, ada copyright dia, ada trademark dan trade secret lah, maksudnya memang sudah dilindungi. Kemudian mesti ada LOI daripada company, so kita boleh proceed dengan mesyuarat dengan penyelidik dan ED Penai. Lepas tu kita akan buat mesyuarat dengan industri dan seterusnya lah. Lepas itu penyelidik mestilah yakin yang produk yang dia mahu komersialkan tu boleh dipasarkan oleh syarikat. Jadi ini contoh alih proses kerja untuk komersialan. Jadi kita mula dengan menerima permohonan LOI lah daripada penyelidik dengan industri. Maksudnya industri hantar LOI kepada PPI atau TNC atau BC, dan kami akan uruskan penyediaan template licensing term. Term sheet ni kita ada, kita punya format untuk berbincang untuk berbincang di antara PPI, penyelidik dan juga ED PNI. Lepas tu lepas dah setuju dengan apa yang kita nak tetapkan dengan yuran pelesenan, tempoh dia, royalty, lepas tu baru kita pergi meeting dengan company. Jadi dengan company tu kita akan berbincang lagi term sheet dia, sama ada dia setuju tak dengan cadangan kita punya yuran, tempoh dan royalty yang kita dah bincang sebelum ni lah dengan TD Penai dengan penyelidik. Jadi lepas dah setuju, PPI akan hantar term sheet tu dengan company untuk diorang sign a job tanda setuju, nanti kami akan hantar ke PPUU untuk buat drafting pengesahan tu lah, agreement tu. Okay, lepas PPU dah bagi draft yang dah complete, kita akan bagi penyelidik dengan TD penal untuk check, untuk semak sama ada agreement tu menepati apa yang dah dibincangkan. Lepas tu kita akan bagi dekat industri pula untuk semak bahagian mereka. Sekiranya kedua-dua setuju, kita akan bawa ke mesyuarat eksekutif untuk perakuan ahli lah. Sekiranya okey, kita akan sediakan kertas dasar untuk kelulusan kaunselor NC. Lepas tu BC akan turutkan tanda tangan, tanda setuju untuk perjanjian tu, dan kita akan proceed dengan signing the agreement. Sorry. Okay, lepas tu sorry. Lepas tu bila dah sign the MOA, kita akan maklumkan dengan PPPU dan seterusnya kita akan follow up selalulah dengan company, apa dia punya jualan, macam mana kita nak collect royalty dan seterusnya. Kemudian bila sampai tempoh agreement tu, kita akan tanya balik semula dengan penyelidik dan company sama ada mereka mau sambung pelesinan tu ataupun menamatkan di situ. Begitu saja proses promosional. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you Puan Akila. Terima kasih. So okay, that's on the commercialization part. So the summary is that usually we start with the request of LOI from the company, from the researcher who wants to commercialize their product. Okay? So at the same time also we also at PPI also we do several ways of promoting the product for commercialization apart from just getting from the researcher themselves. So we send the list to UInvest, we send the list also to KPT accordingly, and then we also use that as an exhibition. Okay, so there are many ways. But to come back to the process of the commercialization procedure, as I said, we get the LOI and then we go through meetings with the researcher, with the TD from respective faculties or institute, and then we will have an internal meeting first, and then only we will call the industry to discuss whether they agree or not with our terms and conditions on the commercialization part. So and then we proceed with the rest of preparation of the agreement and all the legal office and signing of the MOA, sorry. So I think that's all we want to deliver for time being. So we would like to, Prof. Jason, I think that's all from us. So maybe we would like to welcome for Q&A from researchers. We'll try our best to answer all where possible.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Homa, Puan Jen, and Puan Akila. So, okay, we open the floor to questions. I'm sure you're all dying to ask questions, right? Okay, please proceed. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Dr. Reina has a question in the chat. He's asking, who will bear the cost for filing?
At the moment, it's borne by UMS.
Okay, clear. All right.
Okay, I have a question. Okay. Actually, I received documents from MIPO about a couple of years ago, but that's the thing, because we are stuck in Labuan, sometimes it requires constant and consistent communication with PPPI to sort it out. How long, it's for copyright for an app that I developed with my master student. How long does that letter is valid for for me to register, because due to the distance and so many work, I still have not filed the documents completely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. We need info. So, okay, you applied for copyright. That was several months ago, is it?
Not several months ago. Actually, I received
long
it
time ago. You
from,
received
yes, a long time ago. Hold on, let me check back again. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. All right.
Doctor, you went through our office, is it?
Yeah. Well, office, and also no, because the thing was I needed to get the documents from my colleagues. So yeah, it was a thing that I needed to sort out. Hold on. I think tell you what, I'm receiving another call right now. I'll get back to you again. Okay, let me check again. All right, thank you. Just want to know how long thank you.
Yeah, we need to know what document and what's the condition of it so that we can answer you accordingly. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I will, if that's the case, is it okay if I just email you directly, Dr. Homathevi?
Yes,
The
yes.
situation?
Please email
Okay,
to
yeah.
me and also Puan Jane so that we can check what is pending and how to rectify things.
Sure, no problem. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies, because this occurred like a couple of years ago, and yet because every time I
Alright.
wanted to go to UK, actually ada saja other issues. So yeah. All right, thank you. All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Homa.
Yes, Doctor.
Eamon here, yeah, Eamon.
Yes. Okay.
I got two questions here to ask, yeah. The first question is, can we have some sort of the acknowledgement, I mean the information, once we submit our IP or whatever, so at least inform us when can we get the so-called the IP or whatever information related to that. Because like my case here, I submitted my form early this year. Until today, I don't have any information related to my application at all. Then I keep on contacting a few person in charge, right? But until now, still waiting without any information or whatever, because our faculty, we need to report our performance KPI to file it also. So it's very hard for us to justify some other we already submitted or how here. So I mean, at least we have the so-called the email information alert that the form already submitted to PPI, then already submitted to the MIPO and also whatever declaration at the court here or whatever. Because without that, we cannot justify our performance in the faculty. This is the first question here. All right.
Okay.
The second question here is about the commercialization, because we have two entities here. One is in the UMS, like the PPI, to handle the commercialization. Another one is UMS Invest. So which one that we have to tackle here? Is it UMS Invest or UMS PPI here? That is my second question. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Okay, for the first one, I think I will check back what has happened if you have applied, and then, because usually when we apply application from the researcher, we take the necessary action. Then when we submit to MIPO and all that, or to the agent, we also inform the researchers. So there may have been any miscommunication here. So let me check with the office and get back to you on this. And apologies on that. But on your second question, for the commercialization, actually, we don't restrict researchers from either going to Invest or UMS, because there are some researchers prefer to deal with Invest, so they are very welcome to that. Even sometimes Invest also request the list from us. We also give the list to them. So for potential commercialization product, because you see at PPI we have a very limited resources or manpower to do commercialization. So to do more, we also execute, we share a task with Invest. But so it depends. So there's no, actually until today there's no restriction. Since I came into PPI in 2018. That's I was informed there's no restriction on that. So it's 100% purely on the preference of the researcher. So far what I have handled here is that researcher who already have engagement with research with industry, they come here. Okay, we help them accordingly to the procedures. And of course, Invest also have their own procedures. So it's truly the choice of the researcher.
Yeah, that is the great explanation. Yeah, my question is like, for example, if we submit anything to New Invest, UMS Invest, is it will be counted as in the MIRA? Because the procedure is different compared to UMS Invest. Because now UMS is looking into the MIRA point, MIRA performance for the ranking itself. So which one is more higher rank in either we are submitting to UMS Invest or UMS PPI? Thank you.
Actually, it's the MIRA points. It depends on the product that being commercialized. It's not through who or what. So if you're solely doing with UMS, you have to inform us also so that we have the record. So, yeah, we don't get the records from the Invest. So for the products, so only now we are compiling from them. So it's actually not through agent. Q is a MIRA point.
Memang depends on the product lah.
It's on the product and the amount of the licensing and the royalty that comes in. We have the minimum points there, that how much we should achieve and get. Like for example, minimum amount to licensing fee that to get the MIRA point is 10K, and the for royalty is 20K. So if we can achieve that, even with whether you do it with UMS or with Invest, it will be taken into account. Only thing that we need to record.
So means that whatever that we put into the UMS Invest will be taking record as well, right? So because we don't want to have a misunderstanding and miscommunication between UMS Invest and UMS PPI in between, you know, so because it's very hassle for us to submit two ways of communication here.
No, it's always the obligation of the researcher. If you are doing, it's also to inform PPI that you have submitted there, so that we can trace back. Or otherwise, we have our own way also to ask from Invest to get the details.
Okay, thank you.
We just need a record of saying that you submitted there, so that we noted that, you know, so that actually, because otherwise we also will be keep on keeping you in our list and keep on sending for to other institutions or other parties to do promotion and so on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I think Dr. Hanafi has a comment. He said, can PPI please check status of IP application? So I think Puan Jen already answered. But can I suggest maybe those already apply and didn't get any info for some time, maybe you can put in the chat just so that PPPI knows that you know, you are involved in this IP application but no response yet. Or you can voice out here also. I think better that way lah kan. Now since we are engaging with the innovation section, it's your best opportunity to highlight. So anybody already submit but no answer or response yet, maybe just put in the chat so they can take, the Homa and the team can take note.
I found my document already. It was actually from way back in 2019. We actually received Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia the request for certificate of the notification of copyright. Okay, so we already received this form, but we still have not submitted. So how long? So basically, I think my IPO already. I just awaiting for our sending of these forms. I just want to know how long that letter will last, basically. Yeah.
Oh, doctor, that one I cannot tell you how long it's but did they give you any deadline there or anything by when? How long? If they didn't give, then we will please forward to us. We will follow up with my book.
Okay, sure. All right. If that's the case, I'll check back again the document. I'll scan it and I'll send it to you. I'll email it
Yes,
to you.
because we don't have details of that, so we will follow up with them.
Understood. Thank you very much for your patience.
Hi, Doctor. Thank
Hello,
you for
doctor.
thanks for your kind presentation. I'm Kashif from FKI. Last time I was working at UUM, University of Utara, Malaysia. It is also IPTA University. And I had one patent under my IPO, and it took only 6 months. Then again, we applied patent at UMS. That time, I think maybe deputy director was from, his name is Dr. Azizi.
Okay, yeah.
2017 or 2018, we applied one product that relate to 5G. Then they took long time, and after that, we found in my IPO system that our product is almost now expire or it's outdated. That's why they didn't consider. So now again, I would like to know how long it will take under my IPO if we will submit again any other product. So main thing is basically short time. If we will get it, file it, get it as soon as possible, then it is good. If we will prolong or late, then maybe someone can do it.
You mean doctor want to submit for a new one, for new
new
application,
and
for
I
new
want to
application.
how long it will take
Patent.
exactly.
Patent.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Patent.
Patent, once you submit to us, like I said just now, fill up the form. How long? The duration, it depends on the agent when they can give us the quotation, and then after that the report of the patent search. 6 months. We can't really tell you how long it is.
Yeah, that is
all
I'm asking
depends
that you have some timeline at least because for example our field computer science change each and every second, but maybe other faculties like maybe management, maybe forestry, maybe their technology or things change maybe in a month, 2 months, but our faculty each and everything change in each second. So that's why we have to go fast.
Doctor, last time at UUM you said the 6 months. So it's how long it took from MyPo itself to respond
Basically,
back?
we
The agent.
We got approval within 6 months, filing and approval. But acceptance, it took a little bit time. I can say 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what we are facing here also.
Okay.
Because we still have to go to do they do the patent search directly or they go through agent? Because at UMS we don't have officers who are doing patent search. We have to give to the agent.
I think I didn't know that one. That is like their side. But I know my side. They have, I think, lawyer and everything basically, and that they have.
Okay, they have patent lawyers and all that themselves. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely that will expedite everything. Yes, I agree with you. At the moment here at UMS, we are depending on a patent agent for patent search, and then the internal procedure will try to expedite. So of course we chase also the agents once we give them. So every we try to get it not more than a month for them. But then if it has to be really a quality search or what, so we still have to rely on the agent search. But we will try our best to do it as fast as we can. Doctor, I cannot promise you the fastest 3 months or 4 months, you know, or we will work towards that. Please submit your application. Yes.
Okay.
I hope that
yes.
won't give hindrance to any others. Yeah. So we are trying our best to do things at a quick pace. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If not, Dr. Homa, maybe I can just ask about the copyright, because I think that's the one most relevant to our faculty. We write a lot of these application programs,
Yes.
all this software. Yeah? So I see from your flowchart, there is no committee approval, is it? It's very straightforward. We just submit the forms and then it will be filed at the court. That's it, is it?
For copyright, yes, there's no committee approval or what. Even for that's only we acknowledge in the IP committee meeting. We just let them know, because usually for copyright it doesn't cost too much, you know. So patent is a bit costly, and it has a special procedure that it has to be followed through the IP policy. For copyright, it's a very quick process. Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that. So I guess no more excuse lah kan for FKI lecturer not to have copyright kan? Okay, thank you. All right. Any other questions about innovation, licensing, copyright, anything? IP? No more. Okay, if no more, Dr. Homa, sorry, this one a bit out of what we planned, but I understand your team also in charge of Pereka, is that right?
We are in charge of Pereka, yes.
Do you mind if we spend a bit of time, if you maybe do some promo or some explanation about the requirements, for example, like the online entry, what we should prepare and all that? Are there guidelines already?
Oh, okay. At the moment, if you notice in the SMPPI, there's already terms and conditions for application, right?
Yes.
So we are still in the midst of preparing the guidelines for applicants, the detailed one, the program and all that, because things has been changing these few days, you know, on our discussion here internal. But it will be up soon. I think by end of this week. But guidelines is as usual. We follow the same. Okay. The plan is that you already know it will be held at the SICC, and then the dates on the 5th and 6th of November. Of course, the registration will start from 4th onwards. Okay, 4th afternoon. So a lot of things are similar to what usually happened at UMS previously. Yeah. So only thing this time, the Pereka and the other activities are being separated. So Pereka is only on concentrating on the competition part. Okay. So we have 3 categories there. One is for the researchers, UMS researchers. As what has been posted, yeah. So UMS researchers, you are welcome to apply for that. And then the second category is for the school innovation group. Okay, so this one with the existing, if any FPI engage with the school, If you have any innovation, then you can apply. And individual schools are also allowed to apply. We open to the public also. And the third one is on the grassroots. So I think there are a few of the researchers from FKI also has applied for the grassroots grants, right? So you have engagement with the industry and all that. So you can also participate. So there are 3 categories there. So basically rules and regulation for that is that preparation of poster and then to be there accordingly for the evaluation part is still the same as previous years. And then I think you are allowed to pay from your research grants. Okay, so this year, okay, we have had our discussion. So you are allowed to, if you have SGI grants, you may use that to pay your fees from there. So I think you have a selection, right, for researchers there. And students, for students, if they participate, the PI must be the supervisor. So I think this is a similar thing from the previous one. What else?
How about the online? What should we submit for the judging?
All right.
Online, yeah.
Honestly, Prof, for online we haven't come up with the SOP yet, but definitely it will be on video. You can submit the video. So we are still preparing the SOP there.
All right. So we just wait for the itulah kan, maybe like the timing.
Yeah, you just wait for announcement. We will update on the webpage.
Sure. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So others have any questions you want to ask about Pereka? This will be your best opportunity because Dr. Homa's team is looking after Pereka. And then I understand Dr. Jidon is looking after concept, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And please make sure that all your whatever you are bringing for the Pereka competition is already has registered for IP. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions about Pereka? No questions? Okay. All right. So if no questions, one final round. Anyone has anything else to add, to comment or suggest, feedback or questions? All right. Okay. If no more, then I bring this session to a close. Thank you so much, Dr. Homa, Puan Jen, and Puan Akila. We really appreciate your time and effort. I know this week is extremely busy week for you guys, right? And yet you still, yeah.
But I think this is a good start. We have planned to do with other faculty and institute also. So yours is the beginning. We also improve our way of working and things based on your questions. Also, we can improve our presentations and all that. So I let my staff to also explain because they are the key people who are handling it directly. So I will give overview and they do the explanation on the procedures. So these are the key people you have to contact for the relevant activities. So for all those who have any problems and pending issues, please email us so that we, of course, I cannot promise you that we can solve it immediately, but we take it into our list to be solved. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much again, Dr. Homa. So yeah, I think that's all for today. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Dr. Homa and your team again. And yeah, let's keep in touch to have more of this registration and copyright so we can add to our Myra. Okay, thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Dr. Homa. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch.
All right, yes. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks again.